You with the one and only boxing guru. For this episode of Under the Microscope, we're going to focus in on tomorrow's night big fight. Vergil Ortiz versus Maurice get knocked out Hooker. Golden Boy staffs over there, Oscar De La Hoya and Eric Gomez, the matchmakers, is hoping that prediction comes true, that Maurice get knocked out by Vergil Ortiz. They hoping they have another Mexican Latino sensation over there on their roster because they lost Canelo Alvarez, so they trying to build one in Vergil Ortiz. In my opinion, this is a good matchup. This is a fight I want to see what the trainer Bomac is going to do and bring to the table for Maurice Hooker, because Maurice Hooker struggled against his fight against Jose Ramirez, but Ramirez is a different animal than Vergil Ortiz. Ramirez has more upper body movement, more arsenal to his punches. Ortiz is more robotic, a stationary puncher. So I want to see if Bo Mack is going to bring better training and better IQ to Maurice Hooker so he won't get knocked out tomorrow night. That's the key in this fight, him not getting knocked out, because he's very tall and long. So he definitely can use that in his as a benefit, as an advantage if he uses correctly. Because his last fight against Ramirez, he didn't use that correctly or wisely. He was throwing 1-2s, falling in, getting countered. That's what sometimes a big guy does. He throws his jab and falls in and let the shorter guy out jab him or counter him. So I want to see if Bo Mack gonna bring that to him, that Maurice doesn't have to land his jab. What he can do is feint and then check hook, because that's very key, and that's an important weapon for a tall fighter to create angles so the shorter fighter can fall into the hook, and then he won't be in a straight line where he can get counter or out jab. So I want to definitely see if Maurice Hooker's check hook is going to be effective tomorrow night. I'm definitely going to be watching to see if Bo Mack brought any different tactic to Maurice Hooker instead of him just standing there brawling, making it a Mexican fest. I want to see him on the back foot, like I said, giving angles, making his reach and his height even more difficult to get to because he's so skinny. Those are the keys for him to upset Vergil Ortiz. In my opinion, Maurice Hooker, if he does it right, he can pull that off, because he's definitely a fighter, a veteran fighter. He just got to know how to do. So I'm definitely going to be watching to see how, like I said, Bo Mack and Maurice Hooker are together as a duo, as the trainer and the fighter, because everybody predict Vergil Ortiz to knock him out, but I don't believe he's going to knock Maurice Hooker out. I'm hoping that Maurice Hooker and Bo Mack has learned the basics of boxing: angles, check hook, not giving up your jab, not giving up your height to make it difficult for the shorter fighter, which is Vergil Ortiz, even though he can punch, make it difficult for him to land those type of punches. I want to see Maurice Hooker use his height as a counter mechanism. So when he bait Ortiz in, he can counter him strikes and get out of there. So that's going to be the key for Maurice Hooker to pull off the upset or not to get knocked out, in my opinion. So I'm definitely going to watch it and see how it plays out. These are the words of the one and only boxing guru. Is Maurice Hooker going to get knocked out tomorrow night by the strong power puncher and upcoming prospect, Vergil Ortiz? I'm going out on a limb and say Maurice Hooker will survive. I think Bo Mack will bring that out in him, because he should have been over there sparring Terrence Crawford, Bud Crawford. So that should help Hooker with his not falling in, because I know Bud done tapped him up a lot. So he should be well prepared for this fight tomorrow night. I think this is going to be Maurice Hooker's best showing in a while. I think he's going to surprise everybody tomorrow night, because I believe Bo Mack and over there in Denver, I think, yeah, they're from Denver. Not from Denver, from wherever Terrence Crawford. I can't think of where he's from. Arkansas, not Arkansas. I forgot where Bud Crawford is. I can't think of it right now. But over there, they got a good training.